Hello, welcome back to the channel. I'm Damo, and today we're back with the Mercedes C350E. We're going to run through some of the error messages that you might expect to see on one of these cars. Now, this is by no means trying to slate the Mercedes C350E. They are a great car, but if you do your research before buying one, there are a few, let's say, sort of commonly occurring error messages. So we're going to run through what they might be and what you can do about them. Before we get going then, this is a bit of a disclaimer. Warning, I am not a professionally trained mechanic. This is purely based on my own Dr. Google internet research, in particular the C350E Facebook group, which I'll link to in the description down below. This is sort of a synopsis of some of the frequently occurring, let's say, common posts that come up for the C350E and some of the problems that people have. First error message we're going to talk about is a battery symbol in red with the word malfunction in red. The word might be different depending on which region of the world you're in and which language you have selected for your car. Now, it has been said that the aircon compressor can be the problem here, or the car's starter motor. However, having said all of that, the most common fix for this issue is to replace the car's 12-volt battery, which is back there in the boot. If you are brave enough to replace the 12-volt battery yourself, just be careful when you do it. There are lots of how-to videos on YouTube explaining the best way of doing it, but you need to be super careful of that 12-volt battery terminal touching any part of the high voltage system back there in the boot. There have been reports of even, let's say, professionally trained mechanics getting that a bit wrong and damaging the high voltage battery, so be super careful. You also need some sort of device to code to the car and tell it that you've put a new battery in, so it knows it's new and it can regulate the charge to it accordingly. One of the things you may be able to do to try and sort of clear it is make sure you turn everything off on the car, turn it all sort of back on again, and possibly just make sure you've got a full charge on the high voltage battery. So get it plugged in and leave it plugged in for a while. You might be lucky and it might sort it out, but normally that message, unfortunately or fortunately, it is a new 12-volt battery. I guess the age of these cars now means that a lot of them are coming up to that time where the original factory fitted battery is probably on its way out. The battery warning message may also be followed by a towing not permitted message, see owner's manual. Okay, we're starting off with two of the most common messages. The next one we're going to look at is the word malfunction with cogs on it, both shown in yellow. If you get this message, it's likely that you won't be able to put the car in E mode and the whole thing will switch to limp home mode only. This message means you've got a problem with the starter motor. They can short out and cause other electrical problems, so just be aware of that. A garage can replace the starter motor, obviously, quite easily. The cost of doing this, there are some internet rumours with astronomical estimates, should be between 450 Great British pounds and 600 Great British pounds, so about 500 euros if you are in Europe. If it's not the starter motor, it could be the coolant pump that's faulty. There's a control box for the starter motor, it could be that, and there's also a specific relay that triggers and engages the starter motor, it could be that. The next error we're going to talk about is yellow text saying malfunction and an outline of the car with an arrow. So this is a problem with the car's air suspension when it's trying to raise. So there's a few things that this could be. It could be a stuck pressure relief valve. It could be a problem with the electric plug that connects to the compressor. It could be a problem with the compressor for the air suspension itself. However, it could be that it's just shorted out a fuse. There's a fuse under the bonnet. It's a biggie. It's a 40 amp fuse. I think it's number 114 that can sometimes blow. If you replace that fuse, generally, may sort it out. Okay, we're going to talk about charging now and red lights. Red lights, obviously never a good thing. If you plug your charger in and you don't get the normal symbol, I think it's green to say it's charging up. I always thought it was green to say it already charged, but green, the green battery symbol in there, when you plug it in, means that it's charging successfully. If that goes red, you've got a bit of a problem with charging. There's a few things you can do. have a look at the contacts between the plug and the receiver. Just make sure they're clean, there's no grime in there affecting any of the contacts. Maybe just give them a little clean. If you've got any contact cleaner, that may help. Turn everything completely off, get out of the car, lock it, and come back and turn everything completely back on again. See if that resolves it. There are reports that it may be as a result of a faulty charger module in the car, so you may need to get that replaced. You could try a different cable to see if it's cable related, albeit that's usually unlikely because it will show at the plug end in where you plug it in to charge it up if it's a problem there. Or it may be the auxiliary heater, the heater that when the car's plugged in and you set to come on the next day to warm the car up. They have been known, there are reports of them burning out, so it may be a problem with that. And there is the exhaust. If you see excessive white smoke coming out of there, obviously you're going to get white exhaust fumes anyway. If you see excessive white smoke, then it's generally going to be turbo related, and it could be related to the wastegates. These are 2-litre turbo engines, so there are reports of where you get white smoke. It can be the wastegate for the turbo that's the problem. If you get a message saying auxiliary battery malfunction in white lettering, remember that the auxiliary battery in all W205 Mercedes C-Class isn't really a battery at all. It's actually a small capacitor, and it's used to store energy that helps with the start-stop system in the car. It also switches the car's transmission into park if the battery was to die. Its location is in the footwell on the passenger side on a UK right-hand drive car. So if you fiddle around in there, it is possible to replace it, and it's not particularly dear car. There are videos on YouTube explaining how to do that. If you get an orange thermometer icon, it's generally a problem with the cooling of the car. So it could be thermostat related, it could be a relay, or it could be the water pump. Just check your water levels, check there are no leaks. If you have any problems with the stereo, there are a couple of things that you can do. People have reported the screen of the infotainment just remains blank. You can press and hold the CD eject button to try and resolve it. If that doesn't work, press and hold the on-off button below the volume button for 30 seconds. See if that fixes it. Right, so the Mercedes C350E is a premium car. It is a hybrid. It's very complicated, and these errors that seem to be occurring more and more, especially the 12-volt battery and the starter motor one, are pretty common. That combined with issues with the air compressors for the suspension, again, those are the sort of 3 main problem areas it seems with these cars. If you buy one and those things have been resolved and it's recently had a fresh battery, chances are you're going to be okay. Important thing is not to panic with any of these things, and again, just try turning everything off and back on again, that old adage. Plug it in, get it charged up, you might be lucky. If you have got an onboard diagnostics connector, use that. That will give you more information on those specific errors as well. Okay, thanks for watching this pedal out video. If you liked it, if you found it useful, write in the comments, tell me about your own experiences with the W205 C-Class, particularly the hybrid version. Don't forget, if you haven't done, subscribe to the channel, and yeah, give it a thumbs up, and we'll see you again on the next video. Thanks for watching. Cheers.